and welcome to Purple Bubble on this, alright actually, Monday afternoon here at Heathlands. So, last week I said that we were either going to make some beaded bag charms or some felt keyrings. So, what I've done is I've decided that we're going to do the autumnal felt keyring idea. So if you're live, or if you're on board, please do say hello. Oh, we've got an errant Borgia.
Hello!
Hello! Yeah, so if you're watching, do please say hello and where you're tuning in from. And I will do my best to say hello as well. Although Facebook is doing that thing where the comments aren't visible. So, yes, today we are going to be making some little hand-sewn felt keyrings. So these could go on your keys, you could put them off your bag, anything you like, or they could just be nice little decorations really. And we're being inspired by autumn again because it's that time of year. So I'm going to go through the things that you're going to need to make your autumnal keyrings. So first things first, to make a keyring, you're definitely going to need a keyring. So I've got some lovely anodised black ones here. I've already started with a little keyring. And if you want to make it into more like a bag charm, the other thing you're going to need is what's called a lobster clasp. So I will hold these up to the camera for you. So this is a split keyring. Hopefully you can see there if I open it up. That you would normally put your keys on. And this is what's called a lobster clasp. So it's a bit like a big jewellery clasp. It's got a claw on the end and you can use that to attach it to things like bags. Now you can use big or small keyrings, it doesn't matter. If you're going to put more than one felt decoration on your bag. Hi Joy! Cup of tea time? Yeah, so if you're going to put more than one decoration on your keyring, it might be better to use a slightly larger keyring. So yes, we need our clasps and we need our keyrings. The next thing we're going to need is some varieties of coloured felt. So this is just standard crafting felt that you'd get in a pack from Hobbycraft or Fun to Do or somewhere like that. Or you can buy online from places like Amazon and eBay. So we've got our felt. We're going to need some embroidery threads. And I've kind of picked colours to match my felts. You might need some pins, so I've got my pin cushion. You're going to need some wadding, some stuffing. So this is just hollow fibre stuffing. You're not going to need this much. It's just I grabbed a handful out of the bag. And you're going to need some scissors. So I've got standard sewing scissors, cutting fabric scissors. And I've also got pinking shears. Now you don't have to have the pinking shears, which are your zigzag scissors. But it can help if you want to do some interesting textures. And finally, of course, you're going to need a needle to do your sewing with. And I've got a little bit of ribbon, and we use that to hang our decorations on our keyrings with. So, we'll just go through that again. We need our keyrings, we need our felt, our embroidery thread, our pins, our needle, and a bit of ribbon and some scissors. Okay. So I'm just going to see if anybody said hello. No, that's okay. And have a little drink. So, as I said, I've already made a start on my keyring. I wanted to have an example made up for you of what you can do. So this is a little felt mushroom I've made. And it's double-sided. And it's got a little bit of stuffing in it, just to pad it out a tiny bit. And I've used some buttons to decorate it, but you don't have to use buttons, you could just use your embroidery to decorate your keyrings with. I see Mark's logged in. Hello Mark, nice to have you with us, saying hello and thank you for joining us. So, yeah. I'll start by explaining what you need to do to make a basic keyring. So, as you can see here, I've got a leaf that I've started embroidering. So what I thought I'd do is I'd show you what you need to do to make a leaf. Now, I've got a felt tip pen here, but you'd probably be better off using a pencil actually. I've got a pencil. Because you need a front and a back to make your keyring, what I'd like you to do is to fold over your fabric in half, or however big you need it to be to make your leaf. And I just want you to very quickly draw a leaf shape onto your fabric. Now, to make our leaf shape interesting, what I thought we'd do is for this one, we'd use our pinking shears, our zigzag scissors, to cut out the fabric. And we're just going to follow those lines around and cut out 2 leaf shapes at the same time with our pinking shears. And that will give us 2 shapes exactly the same. So, once we've got 2 shapes exactly the same, as you can see, I've got 2 more complicated leaf shapes here, hopefully, that when I put them back to back, they match. The next thing we need to do is we need to decorate the front of our fabrics. So what I'm doing to decorate the front of our fabrics is to use a very simple back stitch or running stitch. So running stitch is where you just go in and out, in and out, in and out in a line. Back stitch is where you go in, out and go back on yourself and then down and back up and through. Now what I thought I'd show you today is kind of a cheats way of doing back stitch that's quicker, because we're just doing straight lines for our leaves. You don't need to do the complicated method. So hopefully if I bring this up to the camera to show you, you'll be able to see if it will focus. Hopefully you'll be able to see that I've done some stitches down here that go in and out, in and out, in and out. Now, to go back on it, I wish it would focus. There we go. What we're going to do is where the gaps are between the in and out, we're going to go back up and down and join them up. So just going to go in and out, in and out, to join those stitches back up. And you can make the lines a little wavy if you want to. They don't have to be straight lines, because remember, this is a leaf. Yeah? Just joining that up. So I'm going to do another line down here for another vein on the leaf to show you how I did it. So I'm going in and out, in and out, in and out, and pull it through. And that's our running stitch. And then to make it into back stitch, we're just going to go back on ourselves, in and out, in and out, and back in again. And that creates the decoration for our leaf. Now, what I might do on the next leaf that I want to decorate is I might use a contrasting colour thread just to make it slightly easier for you guys to be able to see what we're doing. Alan's saying hello from Green Bubble. Hello Alan, it's lovely to have you. So yeah, today we're making felt autumnal keyrings, Alan. And I'm just showing everybody how to decorate their keyrings. We're doing leaves at the moment. To make our keyrings extra decorative. So, what I thought was, I'm going to show you how to decorate another leaf. Just snip that off now that I've sewed it up. Put that to one side. I've got another leaf shape cut out here. In fact, Alan, I've got 2 leaf shapes. Hopefully you can see. I've cut them out together And what we're going to do is we're going to decorate the front and the back with some embroidery thread. And I think I'd quite like to use this lovely golden ochre yellow colour, this mustardy colour, to decorate my green leaf with. And to decorate it, we're just going to use this mer-sized cotton. There's Richie and Kaylee walking past saying hello. We're going to thread our needle. Okay. Now, Helen Walsh would tell you lazy ladies use long threads. So, when I've cut my embroidery thread off, I've not cut off more than really the length of my forearm. Any longer than that, you're going to start to get yourself in a knot when you're trying to do your embroidery. We're going to put a knot in the end, of course, and I like to put a double knot just to be sure. So, we've got to decide which is the right side and which is the wrong side, and we're going to start on the wrong side. And we're going to put our needle in up from underneath, and I'll bring it down and show you again. We're going to go in and out, all the way down the leaf. So in and out, in and out. It's as simple as that. And look, it all bunches up. Hopefully if I pull that through, you can see how we've got like a dashed line, a bit like the middle of the road. And then to go back on ourselves, we're going to come up where we went down. And we're going to go in and out, all the way back the other way. So where I've went down, I'm coming up. And where I've gone up, I'm coming down. And that is our cheats back stitch. And that's the lovely line down the centre of our green leaf for our keyring. So I'm very quickly going to tie this off and decorate the other side of my leaf, and then I'm going to show you the next step in making our keyring. I'll just see if there's any comments there. Mark saying hello to Alan for us, and the rest of Green Bubble. Yes, the rest of Green Bubble, if you're all watching, hello. So I'm making autumnal keyrings today, but you could do any shapes or patterns that you want. These make great little kind of handmade gifts, and they're relatively inexpensive to make, and they're relatively quick to make as well. You can make a few of these in an evening quite easily. And handmade gifts are always very, very well received. I know in my family they are anyway. So, just going to make sure that I'm putting my two pieces of felt together the right way, so I know which is the front and which is the back. Yes, so it's like that. So I'm going to very quickly decorate this one too, and then we'll start putting our keyring together. Now it would help if I put a knot in the end of that again. So even experienced sewers sometimes forget to do the most basic things. Marie, you know that snowflake book I gave you this afternoon? Mm-hmm. Funnily enough, I was watching on my Facebook memories, or looking at my Facebook memories, and this time, 4 years ago, I was crocheting one of those snowflakes. How weird is that? It's literally just come up on my memories. It's like, oh, I recognise that. We're starting to think about Christmas crafts and seasonal things here, so yes, crocheting snowflakes for decorations for the tree. I've also brought in a sewing pattern book. We might think about making some gifts as well. So, as I say, in and out, in and out, in and out, all the way along that line that you want for the centre of the vein of your leaf, and then go back again the other direction. I quite like using the contrasting thread on this actually, it looks sweet. Just trying to decide whether I should use contrasting or complementary thread for the outside. What do you guys think? Should I use green thread for the outside of the leaf to sew it together, or should I use the yellow again? See who's watching. So that is the decoration on both sides of our leaves complete. I'm just going to tie it off. So to tie it off, to end it, what I do is I put the needle in, but not all the way through to the front. And when I pull the thread through, while there's still a loop there, I put the needle back through the loop and pull it tight. And I'll do that twice. And that's like 2 little securing knots to finish off our work on the back. You know what? I think I am going to use the contrasting thread. I think it's sweet. So, the next thing we need to do to make our keyring is we need to sew the front and the back parts matching up together. Just have a quick drink and check the comments. Oh, that's a good cup of tea, guys. Okay, so I've still got some yellow thread on my needle, so I'm not going to waste that, but I probably will need to top up my thread as I go around. And we'll explain how to do that, don't worry. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to start at the top where our keyring will attach to the actual ring for the keys. And to do that, we need a little piece of ribbon, right, that I'm making into a little short loop. So hopefully if I hold this up, guys, you see I'm folding over that ribbon, and I'm just going to cut a short section off to sew into the 2 sides of our leaf. So we're going to put the top on and we're going to sandwich it in between. Now, to start off with, I want to be working from the top. So I'm not going through the top layer of felt, I'm going through the 2 pieces of ribbon and then the bottom layer of felt. And I'm really quite close to the edge. And I'm going to make sure that my thread is tucked away underneath. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to make sure that the thread's tucked away underneath. Now we're using a stitch called blanket stitch. Now blanket stitch, you start from the back, okay? And you come over the top and you're going to put your needle in and through all the layers. So you can go in at about 1/2 centimetre, something like that. But when your needle goes round the back, I want you to catch that thread. Hopefully you can see me catching that thread. So a blanket stitch is where you've got the thread on the edge of your fabric. You're going to go in, and it kind of makes a square pattern. You're going to go through your layers of fabric and you're going to catch that thread behind your needle, so when you pull it up it creates this square stitch. And we're going to continue to do that all the way around. So I've put my needle in through the layers and I've caught the thread behind it. And we're just going to very quickly do that all the way around. Now, the thing is, as we go round, before we finalise and finish it off, what we want to do is very quickly add a little bit of stuffing into our leaf. So I'm just very quickly going to go all the way around, and I'm going to have to top up my thread, I think. And I think I'm going to have to top my thread up now, guys. So I'm just going to take the opportunity to check comments. Nobody there, it's fine. So I'm going to tie this in on the inside.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Have you been used to it then?
Okay, so we're going to get another length of thread, guys.
I'll put this on the time, that's what I think you all do.
Oops, not doing a very good knot there, guys. Anyway, right, so we're going to continue doing our blanket stitch. So we're going to go through that, near that top again, and we're going to continue very quickly going around. And hopefully I can get this done for you guys in the next 10 minutes, because we are coming up at nearly 5 to 1. No, 5 to 2 in fact. I'm temporarily displaced again, Maria.
I know the feeling well.
There's something in the water at the moment. I just think we're all befuddled.
It's in the back where it's gearing up for the hot stones or stuff.
Ah, yes. Oh, yeah. Not that that exists for mothers.
No. Never.
Never. So I'm just going in, remember, through the 2 layers of fabric, then making sure that the thread's behind the needle as I pull it tight. So we go in about half a centimetre, a few millimetres from the edge of the 2 bits of fabric. Put the thread behind the needle, not round the work, Helen. And pull it tight. So if anybody has any questions about blanket stitch, we do have embroidery books here at Heathlands that very clearly explain how to do a blanket stitch. Or if you'd like a demonstration from any of us, myself and Maria are both fairly proficient. Not quite as proficient as Helen Walsh, but fairly.
Enough to get us by.
Enough to get us by. Do you know the embroidery stitch I always struggle with is French knot?
It's not.
They just make no sense to me.
Yeah, I pull through and the whole thing falls apart.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly the same. I try and do it and follow the instructions, and I'm like, but it's just a single stitch. It's not a knot.
I did it once and it was a fluke.
Yeah, they've always confused me, them ones. So there you go. We do love embroidery here at Heathlands, and we do love learning new stitches. I remember teaching Frida how to do, is it feather stitch? It's a variation of chain, basically. And she absolutely loved it. She was chuffed to bits that she'd learnt something new. Now, our resident chain stitcher has actually retired, unfortunately, but Susan is an exceptionally good embroiderer here at Heathlands. Now, hopefully, if I bring this up, you'll be able to see how I've been doing that blanket stitch all the way around my leaf. Now, I haven't quite finished sewing it up. I've got a little bit of a gap here. I've stopped for a reason, because what we want to do before we go any further is put a little bit of stuffing into our leaf. So we're taking a bit of stuffing, a bit of hollow fibre stuffing, and we're just going to poke it into our leaf. Now I've got an end of a paintbrush here, and that can help get your stuffing in. You can make it very stuffed, you can make it hardly stuffed at all. It's entirely up to you. I've got a bit in there. So now that I've put my stuffing in, I'm going to finish up and close up my leaf. So what I haven't done actually, guys, is tell you what we're going to be doing for the next couple of weeks. You know, I said I was going to do some planning about the things that are coming up. So while I sew up the end of this leaf, I'll let you know what's coming up. So next week I think I might do the bag charms. The week after that we are going to be doing, I can tell you, the 25th of October we are going to be doing everlasting pumpkin and ghost tea light holders. So instead of carving a pumpkin, you can make a ghoulish tea light holder out of old jars and PVA glue and tissue paper. So we've done this kind of craft before with Helen Walsh. She did some lovely stained glass tissue tea light holders with some lace trim on and things. What I thought I'd do is we'd do a spooky version and make ghosts and pumpkins. So that's the 25th. The 1st of November is the start of the week before, so bonfire night is on the Friday. So what I thought we'd do is we'd do some firework printing. So it's really simple to do. You need a cardboard tube and some scissors and some paint, and that's it. That's all you need. Some black paper to do it on. But yeah, I thought we'd do some firework printing. So I'm just finishing off my leaf. Oh, my thread's come out the needle. Oh. No, that's not right. We've got to remember when we're finishing off to make sure that everything's neat and tidy. And that should be, other than me tying it off, our completed.
I can sense a disturbance in the frost.
Stuffed autumnal leaf.
And there it is.
I'm just going to
Sense a disturbance in the frost.
trim that off, and I will bring this up to show you guys. So that is our embroidered, stuffed autumnal leaf. And Sean's just knocked on the door because our KCS order has arrived for our community learning and skills. I love the art, yeah.
I know. It's like the concertina that plays rubbish music.
The masking tape's
I'll
right.
I'll do the noise. There you go.
Hours of entertainment, guys. Hours of entertainment in a roll of masking tape.
Exactly. I'm enjoying it.
There you go. Anyway, what I've done is I've put. That will be. Oh, I've just taken it off. I was putting it on.
It's Nova Clay, fibre-free, air-dried modelling clay. Stone. What? It's Nova Clay.
So, I've added my leaf keyring to my mushroom. So hopefully you can see that's the effect. What I'm going to do, because this is on a silver keyring, whereas the new ones that I've bought are on black, I'm going to add a lobster clasp, and that means that I can add it to my handbag, my rucksack, my foraging bag, whatever I like. And that is our completed autumnal stuffed felt keyrings. If you guys have got any questions, if you're watching back, oh, Catherine's saying hello, and that's so pretty. Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, you know I love a good mushroom, you love a good mushroom, and it's quite a relatively simple shape to cut out. So yeah, that is our completed keyrings. There's not mushroom. But oh, Catherine's saying that's for me, right, innit?
Alright, say this way, right? No! How's it like them apples?
Spiff says no. Anyway, yes, thank you all for tuning in, and yeah, I can't remember what I said for next week because I don't have my diary on me. It may be more cut shape activities, but the 25th we are definitely doing Halloween crafts, and then the 1st of November we are doing bonfire crafts. So that is it for today. Thank you all for joining in and tuning in across the Heathlands footprint
across the footprint
and beyond.
The ever expanding.
We will see you all again next week at the same time from the same place here in Purple Bubble at Heathlands at 1:30 for Arts Live next week, guys. So see you later. Bye.